Good morning and welcome to You Don't Need to Be Right. Do you find yourself in situations where you're always having to defend yourself? If so, this next 15 minutes is for you and me. I'm Miss Chrissy D with the P&K Files, preparing you for when life happens. And this is Darlene Turner with VictimToVictory. And together, we're thePerspective.
Hi, everyone. It's so funny when I say this title, everybody's like, I don't know what you're talking about. So yeah, we like to be right. I think as a humanity and having that opinion that we're right. But what I've really come to understand is that we're all raised different. We all have different beliefs. We all have different experiences. And within one experience, we can have many different ways of seeing that experience. And then we bring in culture. So it, once we have all these pieces together, it kind of makes up how we see life, our perspective, and the way we experience things. And so I've discovered that there isn't really a right or wrong. There's just a truth of how we experience it. And when we can kind of come from that neutrality, it helps take that argument and need to be right out of things.
Yeah. And you know what? We can be right without having to control the outcome. What I find is a challenge is if I know I'm right about something, say it's at work where things have to be a certain way. I find it a challenge where staying in my boundaries because I know it needs to be done that way, but not crossing over into my ego and coming from the place of, well, I'm right, instead of it needs to be done this way and it's just the right way to do things. So really coming from the right place so that I'm not coming from that place of just needing to be right again.
Yeah, you're so true. It's being open to seeing other people's perspectives and not have to change that perspective. They're at kind of where they're at and being okay with that. I think I've shared several times about being in a very controlling religion that had very strong beliefs and opinionated, and this is the truth, and could not see outside that box whatsoever. But as I got into my teenager years and really dived into, well, does this feel right? And explained that, I remember sitting with my mom and explaining it, that it's just not right for me. And I think she got it for like a minute, but then it was gone. So, really having to stand in that for myself. And actually I ran away from home, and then I was a whole, disassociated from the religion. And so all of this went down, but I was able to hold that respect still for my parents because being raised in it, I knew how strong their belief was in it and how much that is their absolute truth. And I could respect that, but getting that respect back, a little bit of my opinion was a little bit hard.
Yeah. Well, and because everybody's experience is going to be different. It's like if you get 5 people that jump into a pool, each one of their experiences is going to be absolutely different. I learned a really cool thing from my first mother-in-law that I tried to do with my kids. And that was, if I had a rule or something in place because I'm the boss and I think I know better for my kids, I would let them come and state their case. So I would open up the floor. If you can come up with a better reason why you should be able to do this than my reason why you can't, then we'll relook at it and change it. So it was just a way to, and I think it's good to teach kids that just because it is, and that's the rule from before you got there, doesn't mean it's right, or that it can't be looked at and changed, and empower them to question things.
Yeah, that it is totally valuable. It helps get critical thinking, and having a voice and being able to speak their what it is that they want. I know with my girls, I especially as they got older, I kind of said, okay, I just need to say this for my peace of mind and give them my advice, and knowing that they'll take it either way, but they'll listen to me and consider what I have to say because they valued my opinion and experiences in that. So be a good listener. You may learn something, another perspective, another way of seeing it. And there's value in listening and being able to let that other person know they're heard. Are you already thinking of your answer? And it's already, you're not even listening to what that person has to say. And yeah, I think there's value in being a good listener.
Yeah.
So, what else? Not attached to the outcome. And we talked about this a little bit last week. It's like, may your dreams not come true, Sadhguru said. And he's one of our favorite people that I listen to. And wow, it's like everybody said, what do you mean my dreams not come true? But when we're hyper focused into an outcome of how we see our life unfolding or whatever that may be, we don't actually open the door and see maybe what's being delivered on the other side. So being able to still put that out, maybe what you want, but being able to sit in that neutral zone so that you can see the whole picture of what's unfolding, so that there's opportunities in all areas, because the universe may have something definitely bigger and better in mind that we may never have even thought of.
Yeah, really watch your words. I catch myself doing that all the time. I'm changing it now, but for the last little while, I've really been hearing myself going, oh, this is, my friends are all retiring. I'm old now, and I'm starting all over again. I'm not going to get to retire. I work 2 jobs to put a roof over my head. I'm going to have to work till I can't work anymore. And then what's going to happen to me? And I'm like, wait a sec. If I have any say about how this is going to go, or put out anything in any direction, I'm picking the worst one ever. So it's like, I don't know what's going to come down the pipe for me. So instead of putting that out there, I just really have to remind myself that, things are okay, and I'm open, and I'm getting stronger, and who knows what's going to happen. So, and I think one other thing that we should bring into here is different stages and personalities throughout our life, right? I know I've had many personalities throughout my life, and different stages. My younger stage, where all I could see was what was about me. My second stage, where maybe I was like, redneck, I have to do this, you can do it, suck it up. And then I had another stage where it was thought I had it all. And then now this stage where I'm all about compassion and empathy and helping other people. So our personalities shape our beliefs and who we are and how the world sees us. And that's always changing. So when we stand steadfast in our belief and having to be right in a certain way, you might not believe that 2 years or 4 years from now. And I know that's true for me. What I would have said 20 years ago, I'd be horrified if that came out of my mouth and that was my belief. Now that I've learned other things, I have a much different perspective on it.
Yeah, and when you have somebody that you're engaging in a conversation and they're not ready, or they're just not at that stage, and it would shake their whole foundation, their whole belief system to actually agree with you, and they're just not ready, or they're just not there, or whatever it is, that to let go of those beliefs and that truth. So honoring that and having that respect for each other is really important.
Well, and I think so, and I know this for me, and I know we've heard other women say the same thing. Our beliefs, because it shapes who we are, if somebody is telling us that that is wrong, that's making us feel like we're wrong as a whole. And then you start doubting yourself. How can you be strong in something when you're so wrong? And maybe the world sees you as wrong. That I definitely had to face that quite a bit.
Such a good point. Thank you for bringing that up, because yeah, that is so true. It's begins doubting everything, and then when we doubt everything, then we're not confident. We're not, moving forward. It kind of keeps us stuck. So, that's what we always say: go into the heart. So dive into your heart and find your truth, and be solid in that, without having to compromise that in a conversation.
And what I do now is I sit back and I'll listen and I'll go, okay, do I even need to engage in this? And before, I would have had to defend myself so that I wasn't wrong as a human being, as a person. Now I listen to it and I go, I don't even need to put energy into that. I can just walk away. Need to find a more graceful way to do that. But that's where I go now. It's like, I don't need to take that on.
Which brings us to our tip 1.
Yes. Tip 1, the old Kenny Rogers song, The Gambler. You got to know when to hold, you got to know when to fold, you got to know when to walk away and when to run. So like I just said, if it's important to you and it's something that you need to discuss and be open about, great. Sometimes you just need to go, run, walk away. You don't need to put your energy there. You're still right. You're still okay.
It's so true. Yeah. Yeah. When to engage and when to walk away. So our tip 2 is open to seeing beyond what you know. Be conscious with your breath and listening, and not jumping ahead. What am I going to respond? What do I got to say? And just wait and itching to get your word in so that you can hear your say. And you know what? There's a lot of value in being a good listener, and just holding that neutral space. There may be something wisdom that we can learn, or just a different perspective. There's a lot of value in that.
And if you're in that situation where you're talking to somebody and they're not listening, they're trying to interrupt you, they know they got a better answer than what you're even saying, they already know the answer, they don't want to hear you, then maybe that's one of those times you just walk away and go, I don't need to just say it. They're not listening, they're not open, it's okay to walk away.
It's usually with those people that say, I know, right?
Yes. Yes.
Yeah.
So, and tip 3, remember that we are always evolving and changing. So if we're steadfast in our thoughts, then, and our perspective, then we don't realize something could soon be changing. So we want to be open for that. And we might see it in a different perspective than we do.
I just wanted to add Happy Father's Day and Happy Solstice. We forgot to mention that at the start.
Oh, yeah. Happy
Honor all your
Day.
fathers. Yeah. And the solstice, the first day of summer. It's the longest day of light, and we're coming into a full moon. So even the night is lit up. So yeah, it's a powerful time.
And remember, everybody, that if you are struggling with any of these topics and you want some extra help, you can join Darlene and Michael, and sometimes myself, on Saturdays at, what time is it?
11 o'clock.
11 o'clock to come and have a safe, private, engaging place to help work through that.
Yes.
And you'll see where to do that in the comments below.
Absolutely.
So thanks everybody for joining us. Come and join us every Sunday for a new perspective on trauma, abuse, chronic pain, and the steps to a healthy and thriving life. And we will see you next week.